So we are going to be starting the winners match momentarily. It's going to be a TVZ, Canata versus Kwanro. So our Zerg Kwanro just got off beating Nana in the first match. Someone to watch out for. On the other hand side, we have Canata, our Terran, who just got off beating Sango in that really nice macro game in Katarina. So, however, if one's here, we'll be advancing to the next round, so it's extremely important for both players. And this would be on Blue Storm. Fighting! So we're going to have our green Zerg on the top right, Kwanro. And we're going to have our white Terran in the bottom left, Canata. So we'll have to see what kind of opening both players basically go with. Canata more than likely probably just a Rax opening. I can't see anything crazy like a CC first on this kind of map. With Kwanro though, I mean, as mentioned in a previous cast, he does love his lings. So it wouldn't really surprise me if he goes for like a pool first opening, but I mean, Hatch first seems to be quite popular on this map, and this is a Zerg favored map, especially with the 2-hatch play. So it wouldn't be surprised if he went for like a 2-hatch opener. Or yeah, 2-hatch opener essentially, so like a hatch first into pool and gas. We'll have to see that's what he says to do, but either way, whether he goes for a pull or a hatchery, you can still work with the build and make it work. One other thing to mention is Kwanro can also, I mean, even though he has won, you know, the early game versus Nada, and he has won other games as well, as mentioned when he in that cast, he actually has also beaten C and Light, which are two great TVZs in the previous MSL, and he actually beat them up in straight up macro games. His straight up macro games, and it was also the late game against C in the one he won on this exact map, so he's quite capable of the late game. So just because he loves his link, don't be fooled by this guy, basically. Now, I believe we saw the SCV Scout moving out, if I'm not mistaken, from Canata. And the Overlord is over halfway across the map as well. So he should be able to see what Canata was planning to do. At least he can park outside the expansion there. So it looks like, okay, so it's gas first, followed up by the pool. Okay. So we'll have to see if he wants to go for the lair first, or if he'll go for the speed. More than likely, probably the lair first, just because, or at least this might give him just enough to do both. So he'll get the lair and then get JC the pool right after, because the pool's only about halfway done, but he's already gotten his gas and has been mining for the last, what, 10 seconds or so? So by the time the pool is up, he probably will have enough for the lair, and then the speed shortly after, if that's the case. So the Rax is finished. We do see the CC coming down as well, so Rax FE, not a bad idea from Canata, and he does scout the pull timing, so he knows he is safe, so he might even, depending on how he feels, he might even stop the production of the Marines, you know, for a cycle or so, just to get up more SCVs. So a nice look at some of Kwanro's previous victories. So a bit of an interesting story. So back during something called KSL back in 2014, beginning of 2015, before the actual KSL at Blizzard ran, Kwanro actually played in that tournament alongside Bishu and a lot of the other ex-pros, and I believe he was away during the group selection. So he talked to Bishu on the phone, and I believe Bishu ended up placing in his group, if I'm not mistaken, but essentially they ended up playing against each other, and he basically was the player who defeated Bishu and eliminated him from that tournament. So it's one of those things that I always thought was really funny. I think he was either sick or somewhere away and couldn't make the selection, basically. Just a little funny bit. So the Zings are basically trying to change his SCV though. The SCV is still alive, which is nicely done by Canata, but it's fine, it is caught. But we do see speed looks like it kicked in, if I'm not mistaken there. Yeah, looks like speed's kicked in, and this other SCV will be caught and killed as well. So the layer should be done at this point. There is a bunker that says they will have nice defense as well. Now is there a second? Okay, and the mirrors are coming in, so perfect. So 2 hatch mirror is the build here. Do we see a second Rax come in or an eBay? Because typically getting a second Rax is the general counter, so to speak, to the 2 hatch play, 2 hatch mirror. The Rax isn't up yet, but I do see some SCVs being pulled, so it's possible that Canata is quite concerned about any potential run-bys. Firebat is out, we do see another Rax coming in, and Stim is on the way. And there is enough here to block it, but you can see there's like 6 SCVs at the front, and that is quite a bit. But there is quite a bit of Zerglings out on the map, so it's understandable that Canata is playing it safe. Now the good things for him is that, okay, and he is getting the eBay as well. So considering everything, the eBay should be ready in time to grab the tears just before the mirrors get there. And he does have a nice defense at his front as well. So Canata is in a decent position right now. We'll see how he does against the Mura Micro of Kwanro. Oh, and that was nice. So sniping them just before they made their way in as well. Now keep in mind, with this map, as mentioned, the minerals are quite close to the cliff in the expansion. This means that the mirrors can, swoop in, get a couple hits on the tears, or the SCVs swoop back out. So just make it a bit hard to defend Mura harass. And we did see this in the I Love OOV versus Orion game. Now this bunker placement is something I really, really like. That will definitely help with the defense as well. And he has a firebat as well, just in case Kwanro decided to run some links and try to target it down. So the firebats will do a lot of nice splash damage and weaken those links. Looks like a drone is ready to take the 3rd hatch, so we'll have to see what kind of transition he will do from here. If he's going to go like a Mura all-in, so we'll have to look for upgrades. And this is all going to come down to how well Kwanro can micro his mirror. If he does a lot of good micro, then this can give a lot of a good advantage. So he's already taken down 1 SCV per in that 3rd build. Not bad, not good, not bad, not bad. And you can see how the pathing kind of messes up just a bit to try and get the units back there. Looks like he's going to deny this turret once again. Now, is 4 turrets building? That is quite a sizable amount, but he is doing this fantastic micro. So he gets 1 turret down. Second one is going to go down as well. And is he going to get? He's going to deny that 3rd turret from going up as well. That's another SCV. That's what, the 3rd SCV. That's going to be probably the 4th SCV more than likely. Yeah, 4th SCV, and he gets a turret too. You can see that's already 3 turrets basically killed. And what this does basically, that it keeps Canata in his base, keeps Canata basically behind. Oh, this is really well done. He's going to get that turret as well. He should be getting it because there is more mirrors coming in from the back. Oh, fantastically done. And you can see the area-wise, the spacing means that the Marines can't even hit. So he's going to likely get this turret as well. Oh, and he's going to get even more Marines. It looks like he's actually being really aggressive with these mirrors. So he hasn't even lost a single mirror if I'm not mistaken, but that doesn't mean a lot of them are in the reddish, yellowish range. So he should definitely be careful, but he's doing a fantastic job. Oh, I was getting really nice. And you can see, look at even that turret, it's basically burning down. So Canata is in trouble here because he can't even get a turret up. This is going to leave his bottom right completely exposed. So the mirrors can definitely swoop in and do a lot of the damage there. And he's down to 3 SCVs at that base. And he's been losing Marines left and right to this fantastic Mura Micro as well. So the bunker was really nice to have, but the positioning is really far to the top, so they can't even reach the mirrors unless the mirrors dive in far enough. Now the Ipe is upgrading, so there's probably +1 upgrades. So at least that will make him a little stronger, his Marines. But the 3rd is established, and he is pinned in his base. So this is looking bad for Canata right now. And he's losing just a lot of SCVs, a lot of resources with the turrets, losing Marines, while the Muras will just keep regenerating. And we see the +1 army kicked in for the Muras. Now, 2 Muras have been lost, so this is a nice mini win for Canata. But the Hive is coming in. And, the drone saturation could be a bit better. It's not too bad, though. So this makes me wonder if we're going to probably see Guardians then, because you can definitely park a couple of Guardians just behind the 3rd. It'd be extremely hard to engage. Oh, that was a nice Muras kill. That's 2 Muras killed, but again, the M&M has been really juiced. Oh, and 2 more are killed as well. But you can see all that Canata has is the 5 we see, and probably at least a couple more plus the bunkers. So his army is extremely small compared to what it would usually be, because he's been having to use his army to defend against the Mulisks to keep that base up. On the other hand, Kwanro's been just stacking up basically, and he's kind of grabbing he has control of this game. Another turret's gonna go down. So another marine is going down. You can see the SCV count is pretty sparse at that expansion as well. And oh, there you go. So we see the greater spire is coming in. So it looks like it's going to be Guardians. The question is a starport, does Canada even have a starport in? I believe we saw only the factory just finished building. So, okay, so he's getting his starport right now, basically, and he needs it to get some Wraith out, because it'd be really hard to engage the Guardians when they're over the cliff. And more mutas are coming out, and again, Kwanro is putting on a lot of pressure. This is extremely hard to deal with, honestly, as a Terran, just because the constant attention, the constant multitasking, the fact that you have to constantly, be putting up turrets and keep remaking workers, and that all cuts into the army production as well. Basically, everything all together is just a lot to do, and he gets a couple more marines, and he's still reducing this count down. So this is going to make the Guardians even stronger when they engage, because there's going to be a smaller army for Canada to engage to fight against the Guardians. But obviously he has to make sure he doesn't lose a lot of his mutas, because he will need to morph them. You don't want to lose the mutas and have to remake them. And yeah, but the whole bottom is again exposed, and looks like Canata is going to just be giving up on the bottom. He's not even bothering to defend it, because 3 marines aren't really going to do anything here. And you can see a single SCV at the expansion. There's no turrets except for the one at the top. The greater spire is finished as well, so the guards will probably be morphing shortly. Yeah, there's the guards morphing. And the control tower is out, science facility as well. The thing is, personally, I feel like if he feels that Kwanro is going heavy on the mutas and he sees the armor and believes it might be like a Guardian move, it feels like it might have been better to just add in another port instead of the facility, basically. But nicer drone saturation. The Guardians are here though, and there's about there's about the 4 of them there. That bunker is gonna go down. This base is probably gonna end up having to be lifted, because Canada really can't engage at this point, especially with the size of his army. So this is what he says now. He is moving out on the map. So this bit might be more of just trying to get Kwanro to pull back. But it doesn't look like he is actually buying this, basically. He's going to use his mirrors to try and... and as 12 o'clock now, Kwanro does have the 12 o'clock. I believe it's been established as well. It should be soon. And the thing is, the CC is down for Canata, so this is looking even worse and worse. He doesn't have much of this is his whole army, basically. On the other hand, we do have a high-tech Zerg who's on 3 bases, soon to be 4, with 4 gas. So what can Canata do? Honestly, it looks looking worse and worse for him. Now, he does have quite a bit of an army, so his army is not too bad. But he doesn't have much Wraith, basically. But that is a lot of Marines as well. Now, Kwanro has to be careful. He doesn't want to engage these on an open ground because it'll be easier to target. But he's doing a nice job pulling back. And there is quite a bit of mutas here, actually. So the target fighting is fantastic by Canata. But is he going to have enough? And looks like, yeah, Kwanro will have enough to beat this, basically. The Wraith is down. There's going to be about 4 Marines left. The Marines are down. And it looks like it's the GG from Canata. So Kwanro will be our first player to advance to the next round. Extremely well played by him. Fantastic Micro.